So now that we've covered input validation and restricting what could be entered in the form, we're going to add the functionality to add attachments to our notes. In applications you might be building out, there might be a lot of scenarios in where you would have to upload files for different business cases and scenarios. That's why I'm covering this. There are risks associated with uploading of files. For example, they could use the fact that you're uploading files to your web server to actually overload it so that people won't be able to access your web server. Because you have to remember, the computer you're running on your website on has limited amount of ability to service requests to it, as in service web requests to it. So if it's busy thinking, it's not going to be able to do that. It's just like an application. If your computer ever froze when running a lot of applications at the same time, the same thing could happen to a web server. So when you're uploading large files to it, and too many files are being uploaded to the web server, or too many requests are being made to it, it can heavily slow down the web server's ability to respond to user requests and even crash it in some cases. They could infect the web server, or they could compromise any computers that are attached to that particular computer and servers in other ways. You have to remember that uploading of files and getting files onto a remote system is often the first step in compromising it and hacking it. So that is why it's important to limit who can upload files and strongly control that functionality. In order to mitigate the risk of this happening, you can upload files to a dedicated file upload area that is very controlled and very limited, preferably a non-system drive, and disable execute permissions in that directory. What I like to do is upload the files to a cloud or a distinct server, so that way my web server and the file storage area for files that are uploaded by users is totally separated, and those files will not have access to my system. Furthermore, the benefit of using a cloud server for file uploads is that they often allow for automatic allocation of extra space in case that you run out of space. A drawback is security, of course. So in case you're dealing with secure information that is uploaded and you upload it to a cloud provider, since a cloud provider is basically someone else's computer or computers, you are trusting them. And if they're not trustworthy or you misplace your trust, and it's very expensive information that they're storing, it could get you in a lot of trouble if that information is released or compromised. Another way to mitigate the risk is to not persist the uploaded files in the same directory tree as the application. Using the cloud automatically gets rid of that risk. So if you were to persist the uploaded files in the same directory as your web application, and it is a virus, that could cause issues. Use safe file names determined by the application. Don't use a file name provided by the user or an untrusted file name of the uploaded file. So I'm not going to get into that, but by manipulating the characters in a file name, users that is uploaded, and if you were to use it and your system wasn't correctly configured, there is an attack you can do called directly traversal attack, which is a hacking attack in order to manipulate other files on a web server. Furthermore, you could log the file name and don't display that name in your UI if they did upload it. Make sure that you sanitize the actual data that's uploaded, rather than, because another thing that could happen is that they could put HTML characters in the file name, and if you were to, or JavaScript information in the file name, and you could use that to exploit or hack other people's computers. But we're not going to get into that. I just wanted to state it so that if you ever come across it in the future, you'll be aware of it and you'll know I mentioned it, so you won't be completely pulling out a blank. Allow only approved file extensions for the application's design specification. Verify that the client-side checks are performed on the server. So don't trust any information that's sent from the client. Always double check it on the server side. Check the size of the uploaded file and set a maximum size to prevent large uploads. So that way they don't use up all your free space. And when files shouldn't be overwritten by an uploaded file with the same name, check the file name against the database or physical storage before uploading the file, and run a virus scanner or malware scanner on uploaded content before the file is stored. So those are a number of ways that you could actually mitigate the risk of files that are uploaded. So now let's go and implement this functionality in our web application.